Ladies and gentlemen, we all want to wake up every day with a sense of purpose and drive, but how do we make that happen consistently? The secret lies in mastering a set of simple yet powerful rules that guide your actions and decisions each day. It's not about waiting for the right time or hoping for luck. It's about setting yourself up for success through deliberate daily habits. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 essential rules that will not only help you conquer each day, but will also propel you toward the success you've always desired. These are the rules that high achievers live by, and now it's your turn to implement them. Let's get started. What if I told you that the biggest mistake you could make today is waiting for tomorrow? The reality is we all have dreams and goals, that inner drive telling us we are meant for more. Yet many of us spend years waiting for the right time to act, believing that one day everything will just align. Here's the tough truth: the right time never arrives. It's a myth we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of stepping into the unknown. So what happens if we keep waiting? One day we wake up and realize we've missed the very life we keep watching. The moment to act is now. It's so easy to find yourself scrolling through social media, only to suddenly feel like you're falling behind. Your morning is taken from you, your focus shattered before you've even had a chance to decide what truly matters. Now picture this. You wake up and instead of reaching for anything external, you take a moment to center yourself. You breathe deeply, express gratitude, move your body, read something that challenges you, or jot down a goal that excites you. You create before you consume. In this version of the morning, you are in control. You shape your mindset instead of letting the world shape it for you. This is where the real change begins. The truth is, the most successful people, those who move through life with clarity and confidence, don't just stumble into success, they claim it. They understand that the first choices of the day set the tone for their focus, thinking, and resilience in the face of challenges. And science backs this up. A study from the University of Nottingham revealed that willpower is a limited resource. Like a muscle, it weakens as the day goes on. This means the decisions we make early, when our willpower is strongest, determine how well we handle distraction, stress, and tough decisions later. If we waste the first moments on things that drain us, we start the day on the defensive. But if we make intentional choices, investing in our mindset, health, and growth, we step into the day stronger, more focused, and more capable. Think of the greatest athletes, the most influential leaders, and top-performing entrepreneurs. They don't wake up and let the world control their energy. They begin with discipline. They begin with purpose. Serena Williams doesn't hit snooze 6 times before she gets up to train. Elon Musk doesn't roll out of bed and check Twitter. The best of the best understand that how they begin their day is more than just a routine. It's about setting a standard for themselves. It's about proving with their first actions that they are in control. And here's the real power. It's not just about performance, it's about how we experience life. When we take control of our mornings, we're not just more productive, we're more present. We engage with our families differently. We approach work with more creativity. We face stress with greater resilience. We make better decisions, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. We've all had days when we wake up feeling rushed and reactive. Days when we feel like we're constantly playing catch up, moving from one task to another with no time to breathe. Then there are days when we start with clarity, when we take time to move, think, and set an intention. And those days feel entirely different. We lead instead of react. We create instead of consume. We show up as the person we want to be, not as someone simply trying to survive the day. So the question is, which version of your day do you want to experience? Which version of yourself do you want to show up as? The great thing about this is that it's not about completely changing your life. It's not about waking up at 4 o'clock IMAing or following a rigid schedule. It's about making one choice, one commitment to yourself. It's about deciding every morning to invest in your mind before the world can pull you in every direction. For some, that might mean journaling. For others, it might be reading something that broadens their perspective. For some, it's exercise, meditation, or a quiet moment of reflection before the world awakens. The method doesn't matter. What matters is the commitment to not give away the first moments of your day to things that drain you. You're choosing not to let the world dictate your energy before you decide what truly matters. Because when you own your morning, you don't just own your day, you own your life. Life doesn't follow a script. Life doesn't unfold as we expect. We can plan our dreams, set ambitious goals, and create detailed strategies, but eventually reality steps in, whether it's a setback, an unexpected change, or a door that slams shut. And suddenly we're faced with a choice that defines everything that follows. Some people crumble when faced with the unexpected. They get stuck in frustration, focusing on what should have been, what could have been, or what would have been if only things had gone according to plan. They dwell on the unfairness, the mistakes of others, or the bad timing. They let their energy drain into things they can't change. And what happens? They stay stuck. They become prisoners of their own frustration. But then there are others who, despite being knocked down, choose to rise. Not because the challenge is easy, not because they have all the answers, but because they understand one simple, powerful truth. What matters is not what happens to us, but what we choose to do about it. The most resilient people, the ones who inspire us and make a lasting impact, aren't those who had an easy path. They are the ones who, when faced with adversity, chose to focus on what they could control. Take the story of Viktor Frankl, a man who survived one of the darkest periods in history. Stripped of everything, enduring unimaginable suffering, he discovered something profound. Even in the worst circumstances, we still have control over one thing: our response. He realized that no matter what was taken from him, no one could take away his ability to choose his mindset, his thoughts, and his meaning. And in that choice, he found his power. Every day we face the same decision. We may not always recognize it, but we have the power to choose where we place our focus. We can't control the economy. We can't control how others treat us. We can't control whether the world gives us the opportunities we think we deserve. But we can control our effort, our attitude, and our mindset. The difference between success and stagnation, between resilience and defeat, lies in where we direct our energy. Think about a time when things didn't go your way, when you faced rejection, failure, or loss. Maybe it was the job you didn't get, a deal that fell through, or a relationship that ended. In those moments, it's tempting to focus on what went wrong, to replay the situation in your mind, to dwell on what you wish had happened. But what does that get us? What changes when we obsess over the past? Nothing. The only thing that changes is that our energy drains into frustration, leaving us feeling powerless. Now consider what happens when you shift your focus. Instead of dwelling on what's beyond your control, you ask yourself, what can I do right now? What is within my power? This is when transformation begins, when resilience takes root, and when we step into a version of ourselves that refuses to be defined by circumstances, but instead takes charge of the future. There are countless examples of people who embrace this mindset. Athletes who faced career-ending injuries but reinvented themselves and came back stronger. Entrepreneurs who lost everything only to rise from the ashes and build something greater. Leaders who overcame impossible odds, not because the road was clear, but because they refused to waste energy on things they couldn't change. Let's be honest, it's tough to accept that some things are out of our hands. It's difficult to let go of expectations and adapt to new realities, but just because it's hard doesn't mean it's impossible. Hard means there's an opportunity to grow, to stretch, and to become more. Every time we focus on what we can control, we build the mental strength to handle uncertainty. We develop the resilience to face challenges, not with despair, but with determination. So what does this mean for you? It means that no matter where you are in life, no matter what obstacles you're facing, you're never powerless. There's always something you can do. Maybe you can't control the big picture, but you can control your next step. Maybe you can't change the setback, but you can decide how to move forward. Maybe you can't change the past, but you can shape what happens next. That's where your power lies. This isn't about pretending life is fair. It's not about ignoring hardship or denying reality. It's about refusing to direct your energy toward things you can't change, and instead focusing on what you can control, because that's where growth happens, that's where resilience is built, that's where transformation begins. So the next time you're faced with an obstacle, ask yourself, where am I placing my focus? Am I spending energy on things beyond my control, or am I focusing on what I can change? The answer to that question will shape everything, because success, resilience, and fulfillment aren't found in perfect circumstances. They're found in the choice to focus on what we can control, to take ownership of our response, and to move forward with purpose, no matter what life throws our way. Success isn't built overnight. It's built in the small, seemingly insignificant actions we take every day. The problem is, we've been conditioned to believe that success must be big, dramatic, and immediate. We glorify grand gestures, overnight successes, and miraculous turnarounds. But real success is built in the quiet, consistent actions we take. When we look behind any great achievement, we often see something different than what we expect. We see the daily grind, the quiet discipline, and the small choices that add up over time. Success isn't defined by a single moment. It's the accumulation of countless small moments where we choose progress over comfort, action over inaction. Think about a plane taking off. If the pilot changes the trajectory by just 1 degree, the plane will end up in an entirely different location. That small change may not seem significant, but over thousands of miles, it makes all the difference. The same principle applies to your life. Small, consistent actions don't just add up, they multiply. They shape who we are and determine where we end up. Look at the habits of the most successful people in any field. They didn't wake up one day and suddenly become great. The best athletes didn't reach the pinnacle of their sport after a single incredible training session. The most influential leaders didn't gain all their wisdom after one moment of clarity. The most talented artists didn't create masterpieces overnight. They built their skills, resilience, and expertise through small daily efforts that at the time might have seemed insignificant, but over time, everything changed. The problem is we live in a world that values speed and instant gratification. We want results now. We want the weight loss without the exercise. We want the promotion without the effort. We want rewards without the process. But real success doesn't work that way. Real lasting success is built in the trenches of daily discipline. It's built when no one is watching. It's built in the decisions we make when no one is there to cheer us on. Want to get healthier? Don't jump into an impossible workout that leaves you burned out. Start with a 10-minute walk every day. That walk may seem trivial at first, but over time it becomes a habit. That habit leads to better choices, and those choices lead to real change. Want to write a book? Don't try to do it all at once. Write 1 page a day. That's 365 pages in a year. That's a book. That's proof that small efforts done consistently create something meaningful. Every action we take is a vote for the person we want to become. The way we show up each day, the way we engage with our work, relationships, and personal goals is shaping our future. Are you casting votes for the person you want to be? Or are distractions, excuses, and temporary discomfort stopping you from moving forward? The challenge with small wins is that they're easy to dismiss. A single healthy meal won't transform your body. Writing 1 paragraph won't make you a best-selling author. Making 1 sales call won't turn you into a successful entrepreneur. And because results aren't immediate, we assume they don't matter. But they do. They matter more than we realize. The people who achieve extraordinary things aren't necessarily the smartest, the most talented, or the luckiest. They are the ones who understand the power of small wins. They are the ones who stay the course even when they don't see immediate results. They are the ones who trust the process because they know success isn't about doing one big thing right. It's about doing the right small things over and over again. Imagine a sculptor chipping away at a massive block of marble. Each strike of the hammer seems insignificant. The block still looks the same, but day after day, they keep chipping and eventually the shape begins to emerge. The masterpiece wasn't created in one moment of inspiration. It was carved through countless small, intentional actions. This is how success works. This is how change happens. This is how we transform our lives. Here's the truth. The moment we start celebrating small wins, we create momentum. We prove to ourselves that progress is possible. We shift our mindset from I can't to I am. We stop waiting for the perfect moment to take action because we understand that every moment is an opportunity to take a step forward. Small wins matter because they build confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, whether it's going for that walk, writing that page, or making that phone call, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. When you believe you are capable, you take bigger risks, aim higher, and push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. Success is never about one giant leap, it's about the thousands of tiny steps that lead to it. If you take nothing else from this, remember this: small wins create big victories. 1 degree of change may not seem like much, but over time it determines everything. Make the small choices count. Show up daily, even when no one is watching. Keep casting votes for the future you want to create, because one day you'll look back and realize that those small wins were the moments that changed your life. Every day we stand at a crossroads. 2 paths stretch before us. One is smooth, familiar, predictable. There are 2 roads before us. One is smooth, familiar, and comfortable. The other is steep, rugged, and uncertain. It's the road of growth. And here's the truth: these 2 paths will never intersect. You can choose comfort or you can choose growth, but you cannot have both. The greatest stories, the most inspiring feats, and the most significant achievements all have one thing in common. Someone chose discomfort. They embraced the difficult path, the one that pushed them beyond what they thought was possible. Every world-changing innovation, every breathtaking performance, every revolution in history was born from the willingness to step outside the safe and the known. Take the Wright brothers. They were told humans would never fly. They failed time and time again, but they refused to let fear of failure keep them grounded. They chose growth. They kept pushing until they changed the world. Consider Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time. He didn't even make his high school varsity team. Imagine standing there looking at the list and realizing your name isn't on it. It would have been so easy to walk away and think maybe basketball wasn't for him. But he didn't. He took that failure and turned it into fuel. He trained harder, pushed further, and became legendary because he embraced the discomfort of that moment. Growth is not meant to be comfortable. It's meant to challenge us, to test us, to break us down, and force us to discover who we truly are. Most people don't go through that. Most people want certainty, predictability, and to avoid pain, so they settle. They settle for jobs they don't love, relationships that don't fulfill them, and lives that are merely good enough. They convince themselves they're happy, but deep down, they know they're meant for more. They know there's untapped potential within them. And the only way to unlock it is to step outside of what's comfortable, to risk, to struggle, to fail, and to rise again. Look at the people who inspire you. None of them got where they are by playing it safe. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job because they said she wasn't good enough. Steve Jobs was kicked out of his own company. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before someone took a chance on Harry Potter. These stories are not coincidences. They're proof that discomfort is the birthplace of greatness. But most people won't do it. Most people won't step into the unknown. They'll stay in jobs that drain them, routines that numb them, and places where they know exactly what tomorrow will look like. Because as much as they want success, here's the truth, suffering isn't the enemy, stagnation is. The real enemy is waking up 10 years from now and realizing you're still the same person you are today, just with more regret. The enemy is looking back and realizing that fear won. The most dangerous place you can be is in a place where nothing is growing, nothing is stretching, and nothing is changing. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not evolving, you're deteriorating. And if you're not getting better, you're slowly becoming irrelevant. So the question is, what do you choose? Will you take the easy road, the safe road, the one that keeps you warm and protected? Or will you choose the road that forces you to become more than you ever thought possible? The road that demands you risk, that demands you stretch, that demands you leave behind the version of yourself that's too small for the life you were meant to live. Choosing growth doesn't mean you won't be afraid, doesn't mean you won't fail. It means you won't let fear dictate your future. It means you'll fail and then get back up, fail and get back up, fail and get back up, until one day you'll realize that every failure was simply shaping you into the person you needed to become. Think about a seed buried in the ground. It's covered in darkness, weighed down by the earth, suffocating in the soil. But that's the only way it can grow. It must break apart. Push against the dirt, struggle toward the light. If it refuses to fight, if it stays buried in its comfort, it will never become what it was meant to be. And so it is with you. You were never meant to stay the same. You were never meant to live a small life. You were meant to break through, rise, and grow. So when faced with that choice, comfort or growth, remember this: comfort will keep you exactly where you are. Growth will take you somewhere you've never been. And that's where you discover who you truly are. That's where your greatness lives. There's a famous quote that says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." We hear this often, but how often do we actually stop and ask ourselves, who are my 5? Who am I allowing to shape my mindset, my habits, my future? Whether we realize it or not, the people around us are either propelling us forward or holding us back. Look around at the people in your life, not just your friends, but those you interact with daily, your colleagues, mentors, family, and closest confidants. Every conversation, every interaction, every shared moment is either fueling your growth or draining your potential. We like to think we're in full control of our destiny, but science and experience tell a different story. Human beings are social creatures. We crave connection, and with that connection comes influence. Think about the last time you were in a room full of pessimists. People who find fault in everything, who see obstacles instead of opportunities. Maybe they scoffed at ambition, dismissed hard work, or ridiculed dreams as unrealistic. How did that feel? What did it do to your energy and drive? Negativity seeps in like poison, slowly dulling our edges, making us question ourselves and eroding our confidence. It doesn't happen all at once. It starts small. You complain a little more, make an excuse here and there, justify inaction, and before you know it, you've settled into a comfort zone you swore you'd never accept. Now picture the opposite. You're in a room full of visionaries, go-getters, people who push boundaries and break barriers. Their energy is contagious. Their passion ignites something within you. You listen to their stories of resilience, overcoming challenges, and daring to dream bigger than their circumstances. Suddenly, your own ambitions don't seem so far-fetched. Suddenly, that idea you've been sitting on feels possible. Success is just as contagious. Research has proven this time and time again. A study on social networks found that obesity spreads through friend groups, not because of genetics, but because of shared habits. If those around you eat poorly and avoid exercise, you're significantly more likely to do the same. The same goes for smoking, happiness, and success. The behaviors of the people around us don't just influence us, they shape us. So I ask again, who are your 5? Are they lifting you higher, pushing you to be better, encouraging you to take risks and grow? Or are they anchoring you to a life of complacency, fear, and self-doubt? We all have people in our lives who love us and mean well, but who operate from a place of limitation. Maybe it's a friend who constantly warns you about failure but never celebrates your courage to try. Maybe it's a family member who thinks dreaming big is foolish because they never had the chance to do so themselves. These people may care for you, but their fears shouldn't become your reality. The hard truth is that leveling up requires making tough choices. It means creating distance where necessary. It means being intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. This isn't about arrogance. It's about self-respect. It's about ensuring that you're surrounded by people who see the greatness in you, even on the days when you don't see it yourself. This doesn't mean abandoning those who struggle. It doesn't mean cutting off relationships at the first sign of negativity. What it does mean is being the curator of your own environment. Seek out mentors who challenge you, peers who inspire you, and friends who believe in your potential as much as you do. Because the right people won't let you stay small. They will challenge you, push you, and make you uncomfortable in the best possible way. They'll remind you of who you are on the days you forget. If you've ever watched an elite athlete train, you'll notice something. That they don't surround themselves with people who let them slack. They don't train with those who make them feel comfortable. They train with those who force them to be better, because that's how greatness is built. The same principle applies to us all. You want to build an extraordinary life? Surround yourself with extraordinary people. People who think differently, who dream boldly, and who see opportunities where others see roadblocks. People who challenge you to grow, evolve, and be better than you were yesterday. And here's the beautiful part. When you do this, you don't just change your own life. You become the kind of person who lifts others. You become the inspiration. You become the force that drives someone else to believe in themselves. And that, more than anything, is the true measure of success. So take inventory, look around, make adjustments where necessary, choose wisely, because in the end, the people you surround yourself with, now I promised you one final key that ties everything together. Live with urgency. We all act like we have unlimited time. We tell ourselves we'll get around to our dreams, our goals, and our happiness someday. We say, someday I'll start that business, someday I'll take that trip, someday I'll have that conversation. But here's the truth, none of us are guaranteed a someday. Every day we wake up with a choice. The choice to lean into our potential or to let another day slip away. We think we'll always have more time. We convince ourselves we can wait until we feel ready. But life doesn't wait. Opportunities don't wait. The people we love don't wait. Imagine for a moment that today was your last. Would you be proud of how you lived? Would you feel fulfilled knowing you gave everything you had? Or would you feel the sting of regret for the words left unsaid, the risks left untaken, the dreams left untouched? We are not here to simply exist. We are here to live, to show up, to play full out, to take the shot, even when we're afraid we'll miss. Living with urgency doesn't mean running yourself into the ground. It doesn't mean rushing through life. It means being fully awake. It's about embracing the people around you, pouring yourself into the work that matters, and stepping into the moments that shape you. The difference between those who lead extraordinary lives and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or some hidden formula. It's a decision to make every day count, to approach life with an unwavering commitment to give your best, to refuse to coast, and to push forward when things get tough. How often do we hold back because we're afraid? Afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid of what others might say. But here's the thing, fear doesn't go away. You don't wake up one day and suddenly feel invincible. The people who change the world, the ones who inspire us, the ones who leave a legacy, they feel fear just like everyone else. The difference is they don't let it stop them. Fear is always there, but so is courage, so is purpose, so is the fire inside you that refuses to settle for anything less than what you're capable of. The question isn't whether you're scared. The question is, will you act anyway? Will you step forward despite the doubt, despite the uncertainty, just waiting for permission to pursue what we want? But no one is coming to tap you on the shoulder and say, now is your time. The only person who can decide that is you. You are the one who gets to choose how you spend your time, what you fight for, and what you leave behind. And that choice starts today, right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The truth is, we don't control how much time we have. We don't get to decide how long we get to be here, but we do get to decide how we use the time we've been given. We get to decide whether we live in hesitation or in action, whether we live in fear or in possibility, whether we drift through our days or wake up every morning with a fire to make the most of them. This is your life, no one else's. And every single day you are writing your story. Will it be one of hesitation or boldness? Will it be one of playing small or one of playing full out? Will it be a story you look back on with pride, knowing you squeezed every last drop out of this life? Or will it be one filled with regret, knowing you left too much on the table? You don't need permission to start. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need to wait for the right moment. You just need to decide. Decide that your dreams are worth it. Decide that your life matters. Decide that you will no longer sit on the sidelines watching others chase their goals while you keep making excuses, because here's the secret. The extraordinary life isn't built in the grand moments. It's built in the small ones. The everyday decisions, the commitment to show up again and again, even when no one is watching, even when it's hard, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Success isn't about one big breakthrough. It's about consistently choosing to give your best, to learn, to grow, and to take action even when you're scared. It's about saying yes to the things that set your soul on fire and saying no to the distractions that pull you away from your purpose. The clock is ticking and time is passing, whether we use it or not. The people who win at life are the ones who refuse to let that time slip by unnoticed. They are the ones who wake up every day with urgency, passion, and a relentless drive to make their mark. They don't wait for permission. They don't wait for certainty. They don't wait until they feel ready. They move forward, take the leap, make things happen. And so the choice is yours. You can keep waiting, keep hesitating, keep telling yourself that someday you'll get around to it, or you can decide right now that today is the day you start living like you mean it. Today is the day you show up, you go all in. You refuse to let fear win, because in the end, it won't matter how much money you made or how many things you own. What will matter is the impact you had, the people you loved, the risks you took, and the way you showed up for your life. You have one shot at this, one chance to leave it all on the field, one life to make a difference, to chase your dreams, to live in a way that makes you proud. As you close this chapter, remember this: the life you're waiting for won't come to you. It's yours to create, one decision at a time. The world doesn't wait, and neither should you. So take that first step today, no matter how small, and begin the journey towards the life you've always imagined. If you're ready to stop settling and start living with purpose, hit that subscribe button, because this is just the beginning. Every new video is another chance to push forward, break through, and step into your potential. Your future starts now. Now that you have these 5 powerful rules to guide you, the next step is simple. Take action. Every day is an opportunity to implement these rules, to push yourself beyond what's comfortable, and to make progress toward the life you've always wanted. The key to success isn't just about having the right mindset. It's about showing up consistently, no matter the circumstances. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today and watch how small, intentional actions build into massive success. If you commit to these rules, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Now it's time for you to take control of your future and make every day count.